I'm not gonna hold you. Hope getting married and finding love so fast was so random to this storyline. Now
But
Hope comes back into the country, flaunting off this engagement ring, showing off her new boo, and announcing that she's going to be getting married. And she is the happiest out of all of the girls. Now Renee and Sunday, they are all for it. They lending their support. But however, Whitney, on the other hand, isn't really supportive because she thinks that she's moving too fast. She doesn't really know the guy, but we all know based on her history that she should be the last to talk about anybody, about anything. You know what I'm talking about? But however, she is going to do what she feels is necessary. Now, as this episode is progressing along, we start to unpack a few things between Renee and Whitney. Now, Renee meets Preston, this millionaire that she met at this networking event, and they start hitting it off. And she believes that if he was to get on his knees and ask her to marry him, she would say yes. However, when she mentioned that, we see her days off and we see a flashback of how her and your boy Jason first met. And I'm not gonna lie, that hairdo was pretty convincing compared to what I've seen on other TV shows. And you see how charismatic Jason is. He was able to keep a conversation going, and you can see where his head was at that time. He was trying to get his education, trying to get his career started, kind of similar to Lawrence and Insecure. But you know, they share some of the same storyline, you know what I'm talking about. But Renee comes back to reality after one of her friends snaps her at her like this, like, come back, bitch, come back. And she realizes that she's still in love with Jason. I mean, all throughout the episode, she's been having flashbacks. So we fast forward towards the end of the episode where they're at the club and your boy Francisco's there. And I mean, first of all, being the girlfriend of a famous painter has its perks. And the girls don't really complain much when it comes to clubbing because once they find out that they can get into the club based off Francisco's name, you know they definitely had to ease up off it, especially your girl Whitney. Now Whitney is single, she's brand new on the market again, she's been on dating apps, and she's just been moving around, and she finally lets her insecurities go and starts being more supportive of her friend Hope. Now we see your girl Whitney dancing around having fun, and then she runs into this barista girl that she orders coffee from. She realizes that it's Whitney, and vice versa. Comes to find out that it's Ola's new date at the club. So things get really awkward, and the two have a conversation. Now, based upon the conversation that they had, you can tell that they definitely have love for each other, especially Ola. And to be honest with you, I like how they wrote Ola. I like how they didn't write him as, oh, I don't give a, so what? I'm just, whatever. I mean, we all as guys have that kind of pride and ego when we get our heart broken. We don't care about no woman's feelings and all this. That's toxic as hell. And I'm glad that we wasn't really able to identify that in this show. Instead, he's a heartbroken man, but he's trying to move on. He's not overly bitter. He does express how he feels a lot whenever Whitney shows up in the picture or she has her piece, and he has no problem doing so. But once they laid eyes on each other for the first time, you can definitely tell that that spark was still there. And the way Ola looked at Whitney once she's seen him and his date, you can definitely tell that he's been thinking about Whitney a lot. And the same. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out. No one has really found anyone solid to be in a relationship with as far as like getting into new relationships. There hasn't been a real solid foundation. Now we're still concerned about the situation between Whitney and your boy Isaac and this, that, and third. But however, I don't know, man. I said before that people aren't meant to get back together, but it seems like a spark is going to occur. But I want to see how this is going to play out once Whitney starts messing around with Isaac, because I don't think it's going to be the last time her and Isaac talk, and I think things will start to cultivate, and maybe it will be Ola getting hurt even more because he sees Whitney moving on, and now put a perception that, oh, see, she cheated on me, and she just bounces from guy to guy to guy to guy. There's a whole bunch of things that can spin off from this whole thing right here. So I'm pretty interested to see how this is all going to play out. Now, Renee, on the other hand, I want to see how things are going to play out with her and your boy Preston, because Preston, he seems like a solid guy. He's funny, he's paid, he got this, a lot of things going on. And Renee is just trying to make her way up the food chain, and they have a good vibe. I actually enjoyed their chemistry more than Whitney and Isaac's chemistry, and because one, they're both funny, they both talk a lot of trash, and I can see them kind of, meshing together into something big. But however, Renee has feelings for Jason. And you notice how every time that she would mention Jason, it was always some type of sexual kind of thing with it. Like when she had the flashbacks of making a sculpture of his own, I'm not gonna say it on here, but of his own manhood. I mean, all that kind of stuff right there. I mean, it is true. Good sex can lead up to some type of things. You give a woman some good sex, you give anybody some good sex, they gonna act some type of way in some ways you never experienced, in a way you never thought a person can act. But overall, man, I think that things are starting to heat up in this show a little bit, and we just gonna see how it's gonna play out, man. I really want to see Ola and Whitney be happy, whether or not if they're together or if they're apart. I just want them to be friends because they do share a pretty decent chemistry with each other, and whenever it comes to vulnerability, they're always there to hear each other out. Even though they do have their little sassy misfits here and there, I like that they don't go overboard and disrespect each other, and that shows us some hope for them. Wait, that's my analysis / prediction. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Hit that like and hit that subscribe button, man. I will be back with more content, not on just this show, but on many other shows and any other movie. Anyway, hit that like and subscribe. I'm off this, and y'all take care of yourselves. I'm gone.